Notes Left Behind. This book will also be out in October, and you know they say, and I have no comprehension of this, and I pray that I never do, but they say that losing a child is probably one of the hardest things that a parent ever has to go through. And this book actually is the story of 6-year-old Elena Desserich and her battle with brain cancer, and it's told through the eyes of her parents, Brooke and Keith. And it's pretty much a daily story of everything that she went through and how she lived her life one day at a time. For me, I think this book reminds parents to cherish the moments that you have with your children. This wasn't something that you know, happened. This was a sudden thing that happened to this young girl, and it really just talks about family. It really talks about not just with children, but I think with anyone in your life, to not take advantage or not take anyone for granted, because you never know when they may suddenly just be taken from you. So I definitely recommend this book that will be out in October.
You're gonna make me cry.
I'm sorry. Yes, it is.
Okay, the next story is not a true story. However, it is infused with real-life characters, historical figures. The Lacuna is Barbara Kingsolver's first novel in 9 years, so big doings for this book. Look at the announced print, 600,000. I just think it's going to be ginormous, as Bobby likes to say. And this is the story of a man who is searching for identity. He's born in the United States, but he's raised in these provisional households in Mexico. And he's really more of a liability to his social climbing mother than anything else. And so he's sort of a lost soul, and he sort of finds his way haphazardly. He goes from a coastal island jungle to the unpaved neighborhoods of 1930s Mexico City. Does a stint at the military school in Virginia, comes back again, and his fortune's really never steady. And his mother, she's off. She's looking for, you know, rich men friends, but he keeps a log of everything that he does. He's very meticulous with his note taking and sort of chronicles his day to day. And he finds himself one day mixing plaster for Diego Rivera, because he's in Mexico and this is what happens. I mean, this is the time, and he's sort of traveling in these circles, and he finds himself useful in Diego Rivera's household, and then becomes very friendly with his wife, Frida Kahlo, and then Trotsky comes on board. So this is something very different that Barbara Kingsolver has done. She's never brought in, you know, historical figures like this before. So this is a story that crosses decades and crosses international lines and follows this man's life. And she really, I mean, she's so brilliant, Barbara Kingsolver. She really can't do anything wrong when it comes to writing, I don't think, anyway. But I just think that this is going to, it just tells a wonderful tale using this fictional character and also infusing these real-life historical figures to paint a picture of what was happening at that time in that place. So we're really excited to have The Lacuna coming out in November. Lit by Mary Karr. So, Mary Karr, The Liars Club. Yeah. How many people read that book? That was amazing. You didn't think she'd ever make it out of that one alive, and then she went and, you know, and then she did Cherry, which was also pretty amazing, and that was a follow-up. This is her third memoir. She's not that old, but she has a lot to say. She's really lived quite the life. But she's another one who came into the office, and I was completely blown away. She was like this tornado of energy and very in your face, but in a good way, and just like, you know, loves libraries. I want to do anything I can for libraries. And this is her story, the third in her trilogy of memoirs, but it's really about how she has come out the other side. She had a terrible, crazy childhood growing up in Texas with just, you know, bad scene and lots of alcohol, and this is about how she became sober and also found religion. And I almost hesitate to say that because this is not This is not somebody who is, preaching to the choir or to try and convert and all of that. It's really to tell about her, what saved her. In fact, she says, if you had told me once I started taking my son to church regular, solely at his behest with a paperback to pass the time for herself, that I'd wind up whispering my sins in the confessional or on my knees saying the rosary, I would have laughed myself cockeyed. More likely pastime, pole dancer, international spy, drug mule, assassin. But yet, here she finds herself writing about this. So Lit is about, I'm going to tie it up in one little 2 sentences here. Lit is about getting drunk and getting sober, becoming a mother by letting go of a mother, learning to write by learning to live. So this is really a hotly anticipated sequel to sort of bring her life around full circle. She's really a force of nature, and that she is alive to tell her tale and tell it well speaks volumes about her and the people in her life. Wishin and Hopin. Wally Lamb, all of his titles have to be songs. He has all these, all of his titles are. So Wishin and Hopin is this really great story, very funny, also a departure. There's a little bit of a departure going on here for some of these writers that we have. But this one is about Christmas. And it takes place in the 60s when LBJ, Library Journal, LBJ, I'm so committed. Lady Bird Johnson and LBJ were in the White House. And so you've got, the Beatles, and you've got this great time going on, but also, turmoil, and when isn't there anyway? But it's very funny. I mean, it's very a Christmas story. Gene Shepherd's A Christmas Story, which, you have to fall in love with that. And so anyway, this focuses on this feisty parochial school 5th grader named Phoenix Funicello, who is a distant cousin of Annette. And he's just one of the most wonderful authors, wonderful people I have ever known. And I'm not saying that for any other reason than it's the truth. And so please check him out. He's just a gentle soul, and he's a wonderful man, and he can put pen to paper and make wonderful things happen. And I think that that's going to happen with Wishin' and Hopin'. Okay, you guys, this one's for you. Like the Barry Manilow song says. This book is Overdue, How Librarians and Cybrarians Can Save Us All. It's really an homage to all of you, and I'm not joking. It's by Marilyn Johnson, who did for obituaries and obituary writers in the Deadbeat what she hopes to do for celebrating libraries and librarians. While trying to answer the question, what is worth saving? And so she sort of takes this from Dewey to digital, which I think should have been the title, but whatever. Who listens to me? But I think that, but I do think that that's sort of a little snapshot of what this book is about. She's looking back, and she's looking at the present, and she's looking forward to see, what's down the road for us, and for librarians, and she celebrates you, and she talks about, the value of libraries and the gatekeepers that you all are. And she's going to come to Midwinter ALA, and I really hope that you can come and hear her and meet her, because I just think that this is the perfect book for you all to get on board with, because she's exploring what's happening next, what the Cybrarians call Library 2.0. And how all of this will shape the archiving of the future. So she's really taken a really hard look, and she's very hard at work on this manuscript and tweaking it to make it just right. It's very thought-provoking, and I think that she's just given this so much attention to detail, because she wants to make sure that she gets her message across, gets it right, and gives you all the props that you so deserve, and also takes a look at the future to see, where the library world is headed, and it's all good. She was a journalist, staff writer for Life, and editor at Esquire, Redbook, and Outside. And her first book, with The Deadbeat, was a finalist for Bean and Discover Award and Borders Original Voice. So she's a smarty pants, as are you all.